Hello, everybody. Welcome to an edition of the Musics and Music Show. This is Egbem Biwan Munjimbo coming to you on Vusa World Radio and YouTube. And I am privileged, blessed, and honored to have a special guest with me today who I'm going to ask to introduce her own self. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And I'm Elizabeth AYUKAKO. I'm CEO and founder of Audacious Voices, a non-profit organization. I'm glad to be here this afternoon to talk about Audacious Voices.
You're very welcome. I'm pleased to have you on. Where are you coming to us from, if I may ask?
Actually, I am in Ottawa, Canada right now, but I'm a Cameroonian and I am a lecturer with the University of Yaoundé, one specifically ENS Yaoundé.
Right. All those descriptions puzzle me because in my day, there was just one university. There was a time when it was with the Federal University of Cameroon, and then it was just the University of Yaoundé, which we called Guaykele. So I'm interested. It's interesting when I hear the precisions, the specifics of that. Yeah, but you're welcome to the show. You already said that you're here to talk about audacious voices, if I heard you correctly. So
Yes.
what is it? Because I hadn't heard about it before, and I'm sure there are people who are listening, who are watching, who don't have any clue what it is. So, what is Audacious Voices?
Thank
What's the mission?
you.
What are the goals?
Thank you very much. And you haven't heard about it. That's unfortunate. And it's also possible because we have not been around for very long.
Okay.
Um, Audacious Voices, with the acronym AUDAV, is a
Okay.
non-profit organization dedicated to empowering the disadvantaged girl and woman through comprehensive support services to alleviate poverty. So that's basically what Audacious Voices is all about. And our mission is to foster self-discovery and transformative change, by providing coaching and mentorship programs, training initiatives, economic empowerment, and holistic well-being. And because of this, we have a vision to motivate, to serve, to support, and sustain women and girls achieve educational, social, and economic empowerment. So that's
Okay.
what Audacious Voices it's all about.
Very interesting, and I would say very something that's very needful. We need it. We need that kind of a thing. So, what is its scope? What does it what does it cover? Is it any girl, any woman, all over Cameroon, outside of Cameroon? How does that work?
Audacious Voices is a global organization. It is true that for now we have our offices in Cameroon, specifically in Limbe and Yaoundé. We
Okay.
are in Canada also already, and we have members in the US already. So we're going to move out of these localities. It is a global organization because we want to make it a movement. So we are not limiting ourselves to any specific
Area.
locality,
Okay.
especially when we are talking about the disadvantaged, the underprivileged woman and girl child. It cuts across the globe because we will find this category of women, of girls everywhere in the world, especially in the field of academics, in the field of education and entrepreneurship. That is our area of focus. We want to accompany, women in the field of entrepreneurship. We want to accompany girls in their educational aspirations, their educational career, and to coach and mentor them for a better performance, for transformative changes in their lives.
That is really good to hear. And my question is, okay, I heard about the coaching part and I heard about accompanying them. Is there a financial aspect to it or not? Are we talking scholarships, for example? Are we talking seed money to start a business? Is that part of the idea or not?
Yes, that's part of the idea, but I would like to specify this. And at this point, I really want to acknowledge and encourage other organizations that have been existing for long and that are accompanying women and girls, especially financially and providing material. But where Audacious Voices comes in with something different is that we do not want to jump in with material assistance. We do not want to jump in with financial assistance, because from my experience as an educationist over 24 years, from my own personal life experience, I have noticed that sometimes when students do not perform well in school, when women do not succeed in their petty businesses, it is not necessarily because they do not have the material. It is not necessarily because they don't have the money or the financial assistance, because there are many NGOs out there who do this. But I noticed that in spite of this assistance, many girls still drop out of school. Many still do not perform well. Many women do not still attain their goals in the petty businesses they are doing. So I begin to wonder, what then is the problem? Where is the challenge? I came to this understanding that there is a need, especially in the underdeveloped world or underdeveloped countries like Cameroon, for instance, there is a dear need of coaching and mentorship. These girls need to be coached. They need to, first of all, be inspired for them to dream big, because it starts from there. Any achievement, any success in life starts with a dream.
Correct.
Our children, our girls, our women need to be inspired to dream big, to give themselves permission to dream big, to aspire, you know, to higher positions, to higher careers in the society. And that is where Audacious Voices wants to make the difference. Eventually, when we discover the need for financial assistance, of course, we're going to come in, and that is part of the reason why I am here today, you know, to reach out and to call for support. But we want to see, if you say you are doing a business, do you know how to manage the business?
Exactly.
Do you have the skills necessary? Is that what your potentials, you know, are able?
Are you cut out for that kind of thing?
Are you cut out for that kind of a thing? It's not necessarily because you see Susan, you know, trading with Puff or clothing and is doing well, that you have to just jump in. You have to discover your own potentials, your own skills. And that is the trajectory that Audacious Voices is taking to accompany these women and girls.
Amazing, amazing. It's a huge component of it, because sometimes you hear about people here out here who are supposed to be in the diaspora. Somebody has, yes, your little sister, your little brother has written to you and said, okay, I want to start this business. You carry the money, and you just, our question is, how much? And they tell you an amount, and you send it, and next thing you know, you're grumbling and complaining that you sent this one, you sent this one, she said I wanted to do this and do that, and then it did not materialize. It's time to start saying, what was the reason why it did not materialize? You didn't do any feasibility studies. You want to go sell. Someone was talking about a coal store, and the thing, what about, have you figured out what will happen when the power goes out?
It's out.
And you have a generator, that all those things that you're not thought about, that you just go and do, which coaching and mentorship would definitely help. What is the history? How long have you been around? What's the history? When did it start? What was the organigram looking like? Just trying to know more about Audacious Voices.
Audacious Voices, actually, this is a work I have been doing as an individual over the years, as a teacher, as a mother, as a friend, because it's a passion to me. You know, even when I was in the University of Marwa between 2010 and 2015, I was the president of AFEMA. AFEMA is the Association for University of Marwa Female Lecturers. And so I created this aspect, a service in AFEMA, where we used to go out into the classrooms talking to girls. And we made it a point that we're not just talking only to the girls, we're talking to both the girls and the boys, because at some point, the boys need to understand the situation, the circumstances where girls find themselves in, and their limitations. They need to support them. So this is something I have been doing. But in 2001, I thought that what I was doing was limited. I was limited. My outreach was limited.
Right, as an individual.
As an individual, I should be able to reach out to a larger number of girls and women. So we went ahead and started this, and it was registered in 2001. And since then, we have been working, especially in Cameroon, you know, doing inspirational talks with students in classrooms, giving scholarships to high school students, to university students. We have 2 students already this year that we are sponsoring, one in Manfe, a science student, because we like to encourage girls doing sciences. They are not, our focus is not giving scholarship to brilliant students or students with high IQs, but we want to identify those students who have an interest in a field and they are struggling in that. And because we know that with our coaching and mentorship programs, they are going to excel better. They are going to excel. So far, that's what we've been doing. We've carried out inspirational talks with GHS Limbe, that's Government Bilingual High School Limbe. And early this month, we were in the Government Bilingual School Marua, also doing the same thing. Because we want this to be a kind of movement, a kind of awakening to our girls, to our women, about giving themselves permission to dream and not, you know, taking their circumstances should not define their limitations, should not define who they are. With the potentials, they are capable of doing anything they set their minds to do.
Right, because sometimes we have them in boxes where they're like got the kind of career that you expect a woman to go and to do. Even if you're going to go ahead and get your education, it's to be a teacher, it's going to be something that is going to be certain places like you don't have them. Like you talked about STEM, which is science, math. Just tend to say that is just a man's thing, whereas there are women who are, that is their own gift, and then they don't dare. They're not audacious.
They're audacious. That is exactly the reason and the meaning of that word, audacious voices. We want to encourage girls and women to dare, because women, we have the ability, we have the capacity. Women are made naturally to serve. We serve on a daily basis. So why can't we serve ourselves? Why can't we serve our own dreams? Why can't we nurture what we are passionate about and what we have passion for?
Which I believe, if you're given that passion, it's for a reason. It's for you to come use it.
Exactly.
Not just have it that it's never known. And the passions can be as varied, like you said, in all kinds of fields. It could be, hey, you want to go be an accountant, that's fine. But you may also want to be a caterer. Exactly. And that is that you're just good at cooking, you're good at organizing, you're good at doing all of these things. And then to do it, and then do it well with the backing of people who can actually show you the ropes.
Do it well. That is the needs. Whatever you want to be, whatever your niche is, identify it. Identify your niche, that thing that speaks to you from your soul. And once you identify it, the secret is you find out resources. How can I do it? How can I manage it? Do I have the skills? And you must not have all the skills. What you don't have, we learn. We learn on a daily basis. And that is where Audacious Voices emphasizes on its during its workshops, acquiring skills to accompany you in everything you want to do. We must not all go to school to higher education, have masters, have PhDs. No, but whatever you are determined to do, do it well. If you want to open a restaurant, do you know how to manage your customers? Customer service is very important.
Yep. You sit and you're envious of somebody who seems to be having more customers. And that's the reason is because they're actually there, they're courteous, The food.
Exactly.
It's not just that you cook good food, but then you go there and then the people are rude and that kind of a thing. And that's why it's failing, not necessarily because the
Your
food is
food is not good, but
correct. Correct.
customer service, very, very important. Do you know how to manage and sustain the business and so on and so forth? Do you know how to do your bookkeeping? Do you know how to
Right.
differentiate your capital from your profit? All of these are things that we minimize, but this is the reason for which
Correct.
many women do not
Fail.
succeed with their
Correct.
small businesses.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Audacious Voices is passionate about accompanying women through these kinds of initiatives.
Correct. So now let's talk about membership. So somebody is sitting there, is listening to you talk, and they say, "Hey, I want to be part of this." Then how does that work?
Membership for Audacious Voices is open to everyone. Although we are talking and doing women and girls, but our membership is open to men and women, irrespective of gender, sex, religion, race. Our membership is open. Right now, we have men in our organization who are always even at the forefront when we have events, you know, because the whole thing is so exciting to them. Men have daughters, they have sisters.
Exactly.
Their mothers have been in the situation, and some of them witnessed what their mothers went through. And so some of them are always very passionate when they hear about women and anything to do with empowering women. So our membership is open to everyone.
So how does anybody apply? Like, okay, so is there a website or how does it work?
Yes, we have a website. If you go to www.audaciousvoices.org,
All right.
www.audaciousvoices.org. That is our website. And on that website, you have a space where you can register for membership. You can contact us if you don't want to fill that form. It's a very simple form. But if you don't want to fill the form, that's fine. Just send us an email to info@audaciousvoices.org.
So just info like INFO.
INFO at audaciousvoices.org. Yes.
I'm guessing that may be the same email address that somebody who wants to maybe help with sponsorship, wants to volunteer for it to be a mentor, could also do the same thing.
Exactly.
That's perfect. So that somebody can actually say, listen to this and says, hey, I would like to do that too. Like you talked about the men who have seen their mothers or sisters go through things, or their daughters, and wants to actually come and volunteer their own level of expertise. That would be the email they should use. info@audaciousvoices.org. And then the website itself is www.audaciousvoices.org.
It's easy.
That's
just
very
the
easy to
name of the
remember.
organization, all
Yes.
in one word.
One word.
.org.
Perfect. Perfect. So what have I've heard about a lot of the achievements. People have benefited from what you all are doing already, which makes sense. What have the challenges been?
Challenges are very numerous, of course. You know, with everything that we do, there are always challenges. But as I said before, once you have a passion for something, challenges, obstacles will not stop you. And that is how we have been forging ahead. But we have challenges. First of all, we have to look at the cultural, the sociocultural barriers about women empowerment, women advancement, as far as all that is concerned, the stereotypical ideas about women, especially when it comes to education. And so those challenges, we have evolved. And I really want to acknowledge the women who have been working hard and advocating over the years. A lot has been done, but a lot more still needs to be done. And there are still a lot of resistance within our communities, you know. So those are some of the challenges that the girls we talk to face. Even going to school, it's a whole problem in certain societies.
Yes.
Girls still face that resistance from parents, from communities about their education, about their education. So that is a big challenge. Secondly, as far as women and girls are concerned, there is always a challenge of financial support. Because the families already are financially, struggling, and when it's possible, they want to give privilege to the boys. For the women, it is difficult for them to get financial aid from banks, from these financial institutions, because they don't have collateral.
Yep.
To
mortgage.
Yes. And all of that. So those are some of the challenges that we face. But what we are doing, we do community engagement, because we know that if you do not engage the community to sensitize them, to educate them about the need for girls to attain education, to get self-actualization in the 21st century, it is going to continue to impact our society.
Yes, it is.
Educating women is contributing to the development of the society.
Definitely.
It helps the woman to develop herself and her immediate family. But in the long run, it also impacts the society as a whole. So we try to work with the stakeholders, with the school administrators, with families, with community leaders, in order to tackle this problem. But the perennial problem also about women themselves and the young girls themselves, mentality. There has to be a change of mentality. The idea of accepting stereotypical ideas about us, about the woman. I am not supposed to go far in education. I can't do science. Science is for men. I just want to have my O level or my A levels and I'll be married.
Yes.
That mindset, I am alone. I am not seen. Those are limitations that
we've been raised with for ages, for decades, to just sit and just settle. They actually ask you, go let that plenty books, so who go marry you? Yeah, that's the idea. So you need to stop.
I have friends, I have colleagues, they are blatantly told, you're not going to get a husband. You're not going to get a husband because you're married. It's unfortunate, but this is the reality. And so community, society needs to change. Our brothers, our fathers, our husbands need to understand that women need to actualize themselves. They need to accomplish, because when we do that and we work in cohesion, the society becomes a better place where everybody can strive. The sense of poverty is going to be reduced. Women can better handle and address issues of gender-based violence when they are educated, when they are enlightened, when they can identify the red flags.
Yes.
Gender-based violence and things like that. Because no matter how big a dream you have, no matter how hard you work, everything can be destroyed in a minute.
That's right.
Through violence.
That's right.
So are you able to protect yourself from gender-based violence? Are you young girls able to identify red flags so that
before you even go settle down with the person? That's not I'm supposed to, to even see it from the dating point and say, this is not, this is not going to work.
Not good for me. This is not going to work for me. This person is going to derail me from my focus, from my objective. Your peer group, who are the people you work with, you talk to, and so on and so forth. And try to let girls understand that they should stop keeping silence. Stop keeping silence. Talk out. Speak to somebody. So we are reinforcing the relationship between students and their counselors, the school counselors, because that is a function of school counselors. But the students don't even know that. They don't even know that.
Whereas out here, that is mostly what it is for. They are there for academics, yes, but they're also there for those social emotional things, what's going on with you with that coaching aspect,
Exactly.
right, for the girl. And if, as you explained, if we all did that, if we did that for the empowering, because there's the stereotype too, and there's the bias that empowering girls is to come and lord it over the men, whereas when you have a woman who is empowered, but in the right way, who understands what she's getting that empowerment for,
Or,
as you say, she's going to help build society and her own home. Because
mhm,
sometimes mishaps happen. You're sitting there, and what happens? Unfortunately, you pass away. What's going to happen to your children? If
exactly.
your wife was sitting there depending totally and completely on you.
You.
What if
Mhm.
you have an accident and are disabled? What's going to happen to you yourself? If the wife you have it's just totally there, all of a sudden she's been sitting there in the kitchen the entire time, and now you're gone or disabled. How is she going to? What's going to happen to your family? So people don't
Exactly.
usually think about those kinds of things too. They only think about the fact that sometimes it's going to be this entitlement, enlightenment is a thing. It's going people tend to be scared of it,
It's
and
it's
so
it's unfortunate because the whole idea of women empowerment has been misconstrued from many perspectives and on many
right,
platforms. It,
correct,
being empowered has nothing about lording over somebody.
yeah.
Just a matter of developing self-development,
Self-fulfillment, yes. It's a fulfilled
self-fulfillment.
person.
Every human being deserves to be happy. And
Correct.
you define your own meaning of happiness, of success. What is your
Correct.
meaning of success? If you
Mm-hmm.
want to marry, what is your meaning? What is your definition of marriage? What is your
Right.
definition of being a successful mother or a successful
Correct.
woman?
Mm-hmm.
If you are empowering yourself, you are developing yourself
Mm-hmm.
every day, every step. It is a process,
Correct.
self-development.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing or to do with, oh, because you've gone to school, now you want to become the boss in your house, or you want to minimize the authority of your husband or your brothers. That should not be it. That
It
is
should not
a
be.
misconception of the
Mm-hmm.
whole idea of women empowerment. And that is why some men continue to be resistant. And
Exactly.
this is part of the education that we also give the young girls we talk to and coach in the field.
Right. So that you understand that they're not saying it so that you can go and now say, I'm here now, I'm the boss, I've arrived.
Mhm.
That's not what it is. That's not what they're trying to do with you. They're trying to make you somebody who will be productive, who will
Productive to
feel
the
like an essential
society.
part. Correct.
Yeah, be
That you're
productive to the
contributing
society.
something.
Be
Correct.
productive to yourself. You know, don't what is interesting is that, especially over the years, and that's what we've been made to believe, that
Mm-hmm.
because you are a woman, you just need to present yourself as beautiful, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and that is it.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, that is changing. That is changing a lot.
As it
So
needs to be.
girls need to understand that beauty is not enough for you to be happy and for you to be fulfilled in
Mm-hmm.
life. You
Right.
need more than that
Yep. Because
to
if you're
have
hanging only on the beauty, and when the wrinkles come and you don't necessarily look as pretty as when you were in your teens, then
exactly.
who would you be if all that you do is centered on whether how good you look, and the time comes when you've exhausted all the plastic surgery you can think of, you've done everything that you can imagine, one every week you can find,
I
then
know.
what? That was all that you were. Because those things are fine, but that should not be really the core of who you are. That's
Exactly.
what some girls may not. And we have to do that and do a better job with the older ones and telling other the younger ones. There's
Mhm.
more to you than weave. There's more
Exactly.
to you than the acrylic nails. There is more.
Yeah.
There should be something. There should be a you in there that does not change. That only learns and grows. That does not have anything to do with the
The
outside of you.
outside. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. And that's where
So
the whole idea of quality education comes.
exactly, exactly.
Quality education, whatever you're doing, if you decide that you're going to sweep the road, if you decide that you are going to cook for the rest of your life, it is
Hmm.
quality education in
Hmm.
whatever you are doing.
Whatever field that you
That
have
is
chosen.
what you are going to, how you are going to contribute to the development of
Correct.
the society, to your family, and to give yourself the place you deserve in the
Hmm.
society.
That's correct. That's
If not,
correct.
you will always be looked at as a liability
Correct. Yeah.
to the
And
community.
and looked at and then treated as such.
Yes.
Treated that way, because that's the thing. People don't understand. So you're going to be treated that way because you're like, for want of a better term, a burden to somebody
Mhm.
who's sitting there looking at you as an extra additional charge to what they're supposed to be doing, and then the resentment can come from that. If you
Exactly.
if you come across as somebody who is there, yeah, just one more thing on my list of what I need to do to take care of things. You check, you check, you check,
Like
check. Yes, as opposed to you being able to contribute, and
to
either
grow.
at one of two things: either you don't now need to bother with me. When I say bother, that's the term. Bother
Mhm.
with me. I'm not one of the things that is draining your finances. I'm
Mhm.
even instead contributing to make those
Using.
goals
Mhm.
as a family to push
Mhm.
everybody forward. So, do you have any current projects that you're thinking of, that you have in the pipeline now, that you're looking at for the coming months,
Yes.
days?
Yes. We have projects all year round, and especially what I talked about, our inspirational talk sessions. This is
Okay.
something we're doing already. We have two that we are preparing for. One with Government High School Bepanda, and another one we're preparing to go to GHS Ayumojok. So that one, that's what we do like frequently. But we have one major project we are preparing for next academic year. That is in August
Okay.
2025.
5.
August 2025.
Mm-hmm.
In Manfi, Manu.
Mm-hmm.
Manfi is in Manu Division in the
Correct.
Southwest Province of
Mm-hmm.
Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
In this project, as I said from the beginning of our conversation,
Mm-hmm.
that we're doing the coaching, we are inspiring students to dream big, to aspire, to set goals, because that's part of what we do. We teach about goal setting, but
Mm-hmm.
also when we come to situations where there is dear need, for material and financial assistance, we come out and solicit for funding to help
Okay.
these children. And we
Mm-hmm.
have identified Manu particularly because this is an area that has been under crisis for over almost 10 years now,
Yeah,
running.
thereabouts.
Yes, thereabout. And a lot of the students are suffering because many parents have been killed, many have been displaced, they have gone onto exile, self-exile, and so on and so
In
forth.
Nigeria and other places.
Nigeria, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the students are orphans. They have been left to themselves. But those who have interest and whom we are encouraging to stay in school, because that is the safest place for them in a
Mm-hmm.
situation like that, is going
Yes.
to school, but it is hard for these students to stay permanently in school. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, they have problems of performance. And then if this consistent absence from school, because
Oh, yes.
for 2-3 weeks, they leave to go to the farms to search for food, to look for money, or they drop out. Some of them, early pregnancy, it's
Mm-hmm.
a problem. They are
Mm-hmm.
abused in the communities. So school dropout has increased. Performance is dropping drastically, and so
Right.
on and so forth. Some of them cannot even perform because they don't have the basic school needs. So
If
we have,
all this time, how much reading can you do? You cannot read.
you
And now
can
the problem is going to be the stigma of the fact that there's, like, they call you big mommy,
big
sitting
mommy,
in class 1, because your reading
3
level is
years, you are
bad.
repeating the same,
There's an 8-year, 10-year gap.
yes. And out of frustration, some of them just leave,
Give up.
drop out, get married, or become a child. I call them child mothers.
Yes.
You are a child yourself.
Right.
You are taking care of a
Another
child.
child.
Yeah. So we have planned this project to
Mm-hmm.
help this set of children in Manfi come
Mm-hmm.
August 2025. And that
So
is
in a few months.
in a few months. So we have just launched the fundraising drive. because we
Okay.
want to start early and
Mhm.
give full time to be able to support us, to donate, to contribute. You can contribute financially, or as you said before, even your expertise. If you are a coach, you are a mentor, we will very gladly accept your services, your time. If you want to contribute material, school kits, we will very gladly receive those. If you want to contribute sanitary parts, sanitary products, we will very gladly. That is even another sad aspect about what these children are going through. What I experience, I can't explain. It is heartbreaking. If
I
you
can
see what
imagine.
some of these girls
Go
use
through.
as
Oh dear.
sanitary products, and what happens? They instead infect themselves and they
Definitely.
become sick. And so
Definitely.
the problem keeps, you know,
Recurring. And the
recurring.
next thing you know, when they get married, they cannot give birth to children because so an infection that has gone untreated
Exactly.
for how long? It is
Exactly.
painful to hear, I tell you.
Yes. So these are some of the things we are asking our supporters to please join us. Let us do something for these children. I know that there are many crisis zones all over the world, even in Cameroon, but for this one, we are targeting Manu for this first project. After that, we're going to move to other areas.
Other regions, other areas. Okay, so if somebody wants to make those donations, do we go right back to www.audaciousvoices.org? Is there a donation button there to actually click on?
Yes, there is a donation button on our website. Once you go there, you go to projects. When you click on projects, it's going to take you straight to this very project I'm talking about. And
Okay,
there you'll find
make your donation.
where you can make your donation. And we
All right.
also have maybe I'm going to send you some of the flyers fundraising that you can put out there on your channel. So, and you can also just call us directly or just write to us again
Yes,
through our
email.
email, and we will very gladly receive you and direct you on what to do.
This is really good. This is a really laudable, praiseworthy effort because at this point, those people are desolate, and sometimes people think, okay, it's not my problem; it's somebody else's problem. But it's a smaller and smaller world every day. We're narrowing down. The person who does not have, if you live here and say, I'm rich and comfortable here, it doesn't matter what the next person over there, 3 streets down, what they're faring. But guess what? If he's unable to take care of himself, it is your house is going to come and do a burglary.
Exactly.
You are living in the society. You don't live in isolation. You live there in the society, and whatever. It's in our interest to try to make sure that everybody else is kind of getting by. Is self-sufficient. Is the whole idea. Then that way, that enjoyment you want to enjoy in peace, you can, because then everybody else lacks nothing. Because most of the people who are committing these crimes and things, it's not that they really wish to commit them. Most quote unquote criminals
Desperation.
are not. Yes, like what are we going to eat? So we go on out there and hold up somebody and do that kind of a thing but if you had some income of your own, they would not make that choice. That is
Exactly.
it. So I really do applaud that their initiatives. Sounds like a very wonderful idea for August. I will share those flyers when you send them. Try to make my own contribution. You just sleep better at night if you can think that
Exactly.
there's somebody out there whose life is just got better
Mm-hmm.
because of your contribution, which you may not think, because people think, okay, I need to have $1 million first to contribute. I need to have a huge amount of money. No, you can. She's talked about school kits, pencils, pens, get a backpack for the
Pencils.
kids.
Exactly.
That we can all do. Nobody can sit down here who's listening to this and say, I cannot. We can all do, and if we all put a little bit together, it should make somebody's life better, and that would be an awesome thing.
Exactly.
So, do we have any last word? Anything else you'd like to let us know? How else we can help? Anything else that you'd like to share?
Thank you again, Egbe. As we conclude this conversation, I want to leave our listeners with a sense of hope and a call to action. There is hope. We might paint it as desperate, because of what we experience, because of what we have seen. But I want to assure you, we have been in the field, there is hope. And I am making a call to action, just as we have said here. Let us all come on board. Audacious Voices is more than an organization. We are a movement of individuals committed to empowering marginalized, underprivileged women and girls. We believe that every woman and girl deserves to live with dignity, respect, and equality. As we continue to work towards our vision of a world where every woman, every girl can thrive, we need your support. We need your support. We need your voice. We need your time and your resources. Join us. Together, we can create a world that is more just, more equitable, and more peaceful.
Correct.
So I want to leave you with a challenge today. What will you do to make a difference in your life as a woman or a girl, or in the life of a woman or a girl? What will you do to make a difference? Will you donate to support our programs? Will you volunteer your time to help us amplify our message as our sister is doing this afternoon? Or will you simply use your voice to stand up for what is right? Because whatever we do still goes towards that cause of uplifting a woman, of uplifting ourselves and making right our society. Whatever you choose to do today, know that you are part of a larger movement. You are part of a community that is committed to creating a better world for all. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being part of this journey with Audacious Voices. We are waiting to hear from you not long from now.
So very well put, so very well said, so well articulated. And as I always say, you cannot unhear something. You heard it, you cannot say, you cannot act now like you did not hear it. You cannot say, okay, I delete that, I didn't hear it, you heard it. So it should actually work on your conscience. The seed has been sown. She has told you what it is that they're already doing, which is really praiseworthy. You're sitting down there and you've been asking yourself, many of us do, how can I help? I'd like to do something. I'm not too sure where I should put my little pennies and things. Now you have a place, a definite sure place to go. So I'm hoping before you go to bed today, before you do the next thing, go and check on audaciousvoices.org. You have questions to ask, email info@audaciousvoices.org. And you cannot say we did not have it, you did not have a way to. Do you have a Facebook page?
Yes, we have a Facebook page, Audacious Voices.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
thing. Just go enter Audacious Voices somewhere. Something will pop up that you're supposed to use to do something about it. And just remember that whatever bit you do helps improve somebody's life. And that one person that you've empowered, that you've enlightened, that you've helped to bring up, will now turn around and help to bring up a whole other bunch. The will also, it'll keep replicating itself. So I am encouraged that those of you listening, those of you watching, will do something about this. And my prayer is that you're going to come on for the next show. I think I'm going to have her back after August. Let us see how well everything turned out. You don't want her to come here saying, I waited and nobody showed up. So we want her to come back here to thank you for what you did, what you would have done between now and that time to help Audacious Voices. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time. It has been Egbem Biwan Munjimbo on Vusa World Radio, and see you next time. God bless.